Hey, this is Antonio King, and today we're going to discuss Israel's lamb and Benjamin. Now, if you like this type of teaching, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, leave me a comment, and also, you can share this. Yes, you can. All right, let's get into the teaching. Israel's lamb. I know this seems rather odd when we're talking about Benjamin or Benoni. Benoni, son of my sorrow, or Benjamin or Benjamin, the son of my right hand. Where does Israel's lamb come in, and how does this connect to anything? The two names that are given to Benjamin, Benoni and Benjamin, are pictures of the Messiah. They are. And the Messiah has to be born huh, in the same place Benjamin is born. If you go to Genesis 35, starting with verse 16, you'll find out that uh, they're in Bethlehem Ephratah, and that's where Rachel starts to go into labor to give birth to Benjamin. She does. And then she ultimately dies there after she gives birth to Benjamin. So where does Israel's lamb have to come into all this? Because we're talking about the Messiah and him suffering. He's the son of sorrow and all this. I'm glad you asked. Okay, so before they ever make it to Bethlehem, they're in Bethel. Bethel means the house of God. Oh, so they're in Bethel, and the angel of the Lord appears to Jacob. Oh, yes, he does. He appears and he says, "What's up, Jacob? That's not your name anymore. I'm changing it. I'm El Shaddai, and I'm changing your name. You will no longer be known as Jacob the trickster, but you will be named Israel." Now, why is this important? Because the land of Canaan will be turned into the land of Israel. It will be named after Jacob's new name. And since Jacob has, with Benjamin, 12 sons, these 12 sons will inherit all of this land. Every last son will get a plot of land. Their tribe, which is those that come behind them, their progeny, their children and their grandchildren, all of them will inherit plots of land. They will, based upon God's promise first to Abraham, then to Isaac, now to Jacob, whose name is now Israel. So what does this have to do with the Messiah and a lamb and all this? We know that the Messiah has to be born here. That is correct. But we know Jacob's name has been changed to Israel. And if you don't pay attention to the names, you wouldn't know this. So Rachel's name, this is Benjamin's mama. Her name means lamb. A small baby lamb. God is sweet. Do you know the amount of detail he has to go to not believe that Jesus is the Messiah, to not believe the Bible, when God goes through such detail? It takes a lot of faith not to believe. It takes crazy faith not to believe. Okay, so now you have Israel and the lamb. So, and in this land where Rachel dies and Benjamin is born, this is the land in the future where the 12 tribes get their allotments. This is the place where the lambs for temple sacrifice will be born. But what's even funnier is that this land is the land of Judah later on. Bethlehem Ephratah, that's the land of Judah. Bethlehem is the city. The land of Judah is like the state. The thing is, Judah's name means praise. So where the Messiah is going to be born is the house of bread, which is Bethlehem, but it's in the land of praise. Remember when the Messiah is born, when Jesus is born in Bethlehem, uh, the angels sing, they 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 shout for joy, and then the shepherds are praising God, and they're running around town telling everybody what God has done. That's exactly where the Messiah was supposed to be born, in the same place Benjamin was born. So what does this have to do with anything? Why couldn't it? Why couldn't the rest of the children be called the sons of Israel and this name? Because Jacob was still known as Jacob with the other 11 children. His name wasn't changed until right before Benjamin was born. So this is a two-part thing. So the Messiah has to be born in the same place Benjamin is born in, and where old Rachel dies and she's buried. And the Messiah also has to be looked upon as the son of sorrow and the son of my right hand in the land of Benjamin. And the land of Benjamin, if you don't know, encompasses Jerusalem. Oh, goodness. So the Messiah has to be Israel's lamb, Israel's sacrifice in Jerusalem. And Jerusalem is a two-part name. Just like Benjamin has two parts to his name, Jerusalem is made up of two different names. The first one you'll see with Melchizedek, he calls it the land of Salem, the last part of Jerusalem, meaning peace, because Melchizedek was the king of peace. He was the one that ruled over Jerusalem. He was a king and a priest, so he offered sacrifices on behalf of the people. Oh my goodness. And secondly, in the beginning part of Jerusalem, most people think it comes from the name Judah or Judea, something like that. That's not true. The first part of Jerusalem gets its name from the Jebusites. The people God had spoken through Noah, through the curse of Canaan. God tells you that Canaan's brethren will own the land, because Canaan will be a servant of servants, meaning there's a two-part deal with this, that it wasn't about the possession of a man, but it was the possession of a land. That's one. And then they get to name the land. Oh my goodness. So in this, the first part of Jerusalem is Jebus, after the Jebusites. And Jebus means threshing floor. It's where you separate wheat from the chaff. So you take a trabellum and you crush the grain and separate it from the chaff. So all the good stuff, when you take a pitchfork and you throw all the stuff up in the air, the stuff that's not wanted will be blown away, and you will gather it up into a pile and you'll burn it. And the wheat that you want will be kept. This is a place of separation. This is a place of sacrifice. And if you think all this is far-fetched and that this is made up, King David has to buy this land from another Jebusite priest and king. That's Ornan the Jebusite. This is all in Jerusalem, all in the land of Benjamin. The temple is going to be built there. The temple is the place where they sacrifice animals for your sins and for praise to God. And the Messiah Israel's lamb, will offer himself as a sacrifice for the sins of the world. He will be betrayed by Judas. He's been denied by one of his best friends. The other friends leave him. He's shackled. He's beaten up. He's spit on. He's punched. He's had his beard pulled out. They mock him with a crown of thorns and a makeshift scepter and a scarlet robe, and they hail to the king. They make fun of him. Some of us can't even take somebody saying something about your shoes, let alone punching you in the face. He takes on all this. He goes through 3 sham trials. He's sentenced to death. His friends aren't there to speak up for him. He takes on all this pain and anguish for us. That's Israel's lamb. Mm-hmm. He's sentenced to death just for being God. Oh! He's walked out of the city. And he carries his cross. He is crucified like one of the worst criminals in the world. Cursed is the one that hangs on the tree. He forgives people, even in his time of sorrow. He dies. He's pierced in the side, but he stays in the grave 3 days and 3 nights. That's when he was bent on knee, where he suffered. But early on the day of first fruits, he is seen as the Son of God's right hand. So Israel's lamb, when he comes back, he's not coming back as the lamb. He's coming back as the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Oh, he is. And he's coming back to the same place. What place is that? Jerusalem, in the land of Benjamin. He's coming back to rule. Because he's the son of God's right hand. Israel's lamb in Benjamin.